There has always been a part of me that always felt disconnected from the people around me. Hi guys, welcome to my channel Niger Delta. If this is your first time here, thank you. If you're returning, it's nice to see you guys again. So for today's video, I have decided to be a little bit more candid and a little bit more open about the topic that we're going to address today. Today, we're going to talk about never fitting in friendships and never fitting in even in your family dynamics. So we're going to hit about 3 different bullet points, and we're just going to chit chat and you guys tell me if you can relate or not. So we're going to talk about being in groups but being feeling as if though we are far removed from the group, like being interacting in an interactive space but not feeling like you're necessarily fitting into that space. I'm also going to talk about not feeling connected to friends and family. And then finally, I'm going to also address people perceiving me one way and then not allowing me to deviate from their perceptions of me. So if this sounds like a topic that you'd be interested in or something that feels like, this sounds like how I've been living my life, stick around and let's have some fun. So, I have never truly felt like my relationships, whether they be familial or platonic, have ever truly touched my heart center. No matter how close we were, I didn't truly feel engaged and connected with the people around me. There was always a part of me that would whisper to me, not yet, not this one, not now. So, if you don't know, I'm 30 years old, and for the majority of my 30 years on this earth, I have been searching for connections and relationships where I would feel like we click. This isn't to say like I don't appreciate the relationships that I had so far, because it was through them that I was able to learn myself and fix bad habits that I had. I used to think that something was seriously wrong with me from how little I felt in regards to others. I knew that some of that numbness I felt was due to my upbringing and the defense mechanisms I developed in order not to allow the words and actions of my parents to affect me. But another part of it was that I simply did not feel connected to others. That depth of emotion and that connectedness that people would speak of when talking about their family and friends, I didn't feel it at all. Wherever I went and with whoever I was with, I did not feel like I fit in. I always felt like I was a stranger in other people's, private lives. For most of my life, I have been disconnected with both myself and disconnected from others. When you don't know who you are, you allow others to tell you who you are. And for the longest time, that was how I lived my life, based on how my parents perceived me, not through talks and them interacting with me, but their limited view with limited time spent with me. I acted in the manner they said I was, not in the manner I actually was. Same thing with friendships and my interactions with authority figures at school. Since I did not have the freedom to develop and choose and learn who I was, and instead who I was and who I should be was delivered to me, forced upon me, told to me, I quickly learned how to mold my personality and actions into one that the people I was interacting with would have a favorable opinion of. My people pleasing was actually born from a place of survival and desperation to be able to not only fit in, but to feel like something in my life. But as we all know, that is never the case. I was lost for so long until I decided to go and, actually find myself. Find who I am, what I liked and disliked, and not what others, whether they be my friends or family, told me I liked and disliked. Finding myself has been a really long journey for me. I'm not going to say it was easy and straight to the point, because it really wasn't. It was hard and painful, and a lot of times I slipped into old habits, but I finally made it to the other side. And I'm going to tell you how I did and how you can too, if that's something you yourself have been struggling with for the longest time, like I have. The hardest part of my journey, I would say, wasn't even finding myself, but fighting off and dispelling people's perceptions of me. The hardest and most stubborn people in my life are my family. When family, whether it be parents or siblings, think they know you, they are usually the ones that will try and push you back into the box you were in, because dealing with the new you and the true you is something they don't want to have to deal with. I will tell you now, sometimes when you find yourself in this predicament, taking a break from them is the only option. Now, if you're like me who has to live with family, so you're forced to interact with them, I would recommend to keep your interactions limited as much as you can. Detach. Detach emotionally as much as you can. I used to get so angry when I felt like they were trying to force me back into the box I was in before. And the thing with my anger is that when I'm angry energetically, it's always all consuming. So it would really, really mess up my day when somebody would say something to me, my parent would say something to me, my sibling would say something to me and tell me that's not how you act, or that's not who you are, or I really know who you are and that's not who you are. It would make me so upset, and when I get angry, it would literally ruin my day. So I had to learn how to detach my emotions from it so that I could have better control and I would not allow them to trigger me. I would find myself a lot of times tiring myself out when I would get angry because of how I allowed people's perceptions and actions towards me to allow me to feel. So something I started doing was I first physically started keeping contact to a minimum until I learned how to energetically detach. What has truly worked for me has been me centering myself and connecting with nature more. Just going outside and walking in nature allowed me to be with me and me alone and grounding within myself. If that's something you're not into, maybe also think of starting a project that would push you more into who you are. Focus on the things in life that you can change, get into hobbies that align with the person that you have found yourself to be. Feed and nurture that version of you until you being yourself becomes second nature. A lot of times people would also recommend that you journal. Now, if you're triggered by journaling like I was, especially like if your journal was read for the longest time, after when I was a child, my journal was actually was read. So for the longest time, even though journaling was something that I knew would benefit me, I physically could not get into the act of journaling because that was a wound for me. So if I would recommend you try journaling if you can, but if that's still a sore spot for you, doing the other things I recommended would still work. I'm sure that a lot of you will relate to what I have said today. Some of you might have already found yourself, while the others are still finding yourselves. Some of you might not have even started discovering yourselves yet, and this video will be the push that you will need to start your journey. I wanted to share something of myself that is more personal because I want to connect with you guys more and even help you fix some things that you might be struggling with. Thank you all so much for watching and making it this far. If you can relate, whether you be at the beginning, the middle, or towards the end of your journey, please leave a comment and let me know how you feel. I'll be reading and responding to all of them. So please feel free to share your experiences. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you all so much for your time and your ears and listening. I truly enjoyed being able to share with you, be open, be transparent, and just be vulnerable. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.